The Nets found a taker for disgruntled Timofey Mozgov, shipping his appearing and tradable contract, along with cash and a pair of second-round picks, to Charlotte for Howard. The deal, first reported by ESPN and confirmed by the Post, gives Brooklyn flexibility and a windfall of cap space next summer. Wednesday's trade, which can't be completed until the moratorium ends, opens up over $17 million in 2019 cap room, with just $33 million on the books for the 2019-20 season. The Nets are now in position to have two max salary slots, over $70 million in space, assuming they renounce the rights to restricted free agents Rondé Hollis Jefferson and D'Angelo Russell. The free agent crop next summer includes Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, Klay Thompson and Kemba Walker. Oh, and they finally ended up with Howard. The three-time Defensive Player of the Year averaged 16.6 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 1.6 blocks in his best campaign since his last All-Star berth in 2013-14. He finished fourth in the NBA in rebounding, notched the best defensive rebounding percentage of his career, and left the Nets with a lasting memory after dominating them for 32 points and 30 rebounds on March 21. Dwight Howard had a monster game. Nets coach Kenny Atkinson said at the time, "We never found a solution to combating the physicality in the second half. They physically overwhelmed us." Howard may have teased the trade June 14 when he tweeted a video in which every single highlight came from that Nets game. Now he's coming to Brooklyn for a player most presumed the Nets would have to pay a team to take. Initial iterations of this trade had the Nets shipping off DeMar Carroll, Hollis Jefferson and pick number 29, while getting back Howard and Charlotte's number 11 pick. Instead, they traded cash. They have up to $5.1 million to spend. The No. 45 pick in Thursday's draft, acquired for Tyler Zeller, and a 2021 second-rounder. But the key was unloading Mozgov. The 31-year-old Russian center arrived as a salary dump in the trade that brought Russell to Brooklyn just before last year's draft. He still had 2 years and $32.7 million left on a deal viewed as among the worst in the NBA. It was Charlotte general manager Mitch Kupchak who handed Mozgov that 4-year, $64 million contract with the Lakers in 2016. On Wednesday, Nets GM Sean Marks sent that odious contract back to Kupchak, so desperate was Charlotte to offload Howard's $23.8 million expiring contract and get under the luxury tax. Sources told the Post that the well-traveled big man was unpopular in the Hornets' locker room, probably why he's now on his 6th team in 6 years. He played for the Magic, Lakers, Rockets, where he was teammates with Jeremy Lin, Hawks, Hornets and now Nets, to whom he was nearly traded in 2012. Howard had demanded a trade from Orlando to the Nets in December 2011 to team up with Deron Williams. Then he changed his mind at the last minute before the trade deadline. In the following off-season, after the Nets had gone all in, re-signing Williams and trading for Joe Johnson, Howard pushed for a trade again. Then Nets GM Billy King offered Orlando 4 future unprotected first-round picks, Brook Lopez and Chris Humphries for Howard, Jason Richardson, Chris Duhon, and Earl Clark. He was rejected. "I did want to go to Brooklyn," Howard said at the time. "That's a place where I told the Magic that I really wanted to go. Now he's finally here, in return for an anchor of a contract that could weigh down a battleship. We are 100% sure that he is still a contributor, even in nowadays super-fast NBA fashion." Mozgov's agent, Stanislav Rajov, told the Post over the weekend, "We're sure if some good trade possibility comes, we're going to work it out. It has been a truly sad demise for the star once known as Superman." Both the Nets and Dwight Howard have come a long, unfortunate way from his 2012 demand to be traded to Brooklyn. Howard, then in his 6th straight All-Star campaign, was at the top of the league. He had put Orlando on the map, led it to an NBA Finals berth in 2009, and had a perennial spot on the All-Defensive and All-NBA teams. That seems a very long time ago. Howard's last 2 seasons have consisted of stops in Atlanta and Charlotte, and with his now being used as a salary cap dump. Each stop in Howard's journeyman tour appears sadder than the last. Though he's continued to average double-doubles, the 32-year-old's contract has been a burden. Paying an old-school center upwards of $20 million per year isn't the best way to win in today's NBA. Still, in a situation like Brooklyn's, Howard could have a role if the Nets decide to keep him around. Some have speculated a buyout could be on the table, particularly if Brooklyn decides to tank now that it has its first-round pick. If he does last, the Nets at least become more interesting. They've been historically short-handed since the ill-fated Boston deal and have been trying to accumulate talent any way they can. With buy low gambles on guys like D'Angelo Russell and Howard, they at least have potential to work with.